Hey, what's it going on, everyone? Your man Sinister here, along with my co-host Kano. Welcome to the first episode of Beyond the Ring podcast. This is all wrestling, no video game stuff. Gamer section stuff that's separate, but today it's all about wrestling. This is the first episode, so let's go ahead and get into it. All right, Kano. First off, our first topic is the Royal Rumble reaction. So, did you able to check it out?
No, I haven't watched the Royal Rumble. I thought the Royal Rumble from what I'd seen with the highlights was trash. It was garbage truck juice. WWE is the worst place ever. AEW is the worst. Let me stop playing. But yeah, I've seen the Royal Rumble, and there's a lot to talk about within the Royal Rumble. First and foremost, let's talk about the men's Royal Rumble right now. You feel me?
Right.
Let's talk about Gunther at this point, right? You know what I'm saying? Because he
Gunta.
was like, yeah, Gunther. He was basically the first entrant in the whole Royal Rumble, and he
Yeah.
outlasted most of the wrestlers in that Royal Rumble. And it came down to him and Cody Rhodes. You got to give him credit what credit is due,
Right.
because you could see the exhaustion on his face. You could tell he was tired because he was in that Royal Rumble for about an hour and some change. So
Yep.
it's definitely different from what we've seen with him, but I got to give credit where credit is due. Gunther actually, he's one of the people that really stole the show. Like, what was your thoughts about that men's Royal Rumble?
I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, yeah, like I said, I give credit to Gunther the way he lasted that long. Like he came in at number one. Of course, Cody was the last guy to come on out because all the hype being around it. But still, like, I mean, he got some eliminations in there. But of course, unfortunately, Cody got the best of him, so he won the Royal Rumble. But I mean, the match itself was great. Like some of the highlights. Yeah, it was like of course, what's the Rumble without a few surprises? Of course, Booker T was one of us. So, I mean, why not? It's in his home
Yeah,
state.
yeah,
But
but I didn't even expect him to be in there for that long because I expect him to get thrown over the ropes, and Gunther, he actually threw him over the ropes. You feel me? So
yeah,
it wasn't surprising for him. He wasn't going to be in that match for a long period of time. It was just for the moment, you know what I mean?
right.
But the biggest moment to me that was in the Royal Rumble was the jump between Ricochet and Logan Paul. Now that really was one of the highlights of the night. That was just amazing, that we got to see that because when I seen it, I was like, dang, it's so cool. You feel me?
Yes, like that
So
was just like that was like one of those OMG moments.
mhm, most definitely, that was definitely an OMG moment. But all in all, though, with the Royal Rumble, we seen Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. They really like coexist the majority of the match.
Of course,
Um,
Gunther eliminated them both.
Yeah, obviously we knew that was going to happen. It was just very surprising, they lasted that long. But the highlight of the whole thing was Cody Rhodes versus Gunther towards the end. I was expecting it more to be Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes at the end to be the last two. That's what I was expecting, to be honest with you, because they got a rivalry, and you can tell that rivalry is still not over with at this
Yeah,
point. So you can see that still going on. I say most likely after WrestleMania with Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes for either the Universal Championship or the WWE Championship, one of the two. But definitely can actually see that happening. And when we seen Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley, we seen that rivalry coexist again within that Royal Rumble, which Bobby Lashley eliminated Brock Lesnar easily. And you just saw how mad Brock
Lesnar
Lesnar was to
was
the point where he even like attacked Berico.
Baron
No, go
Corbin.
ahead.
Yep. Yeah, when he tapped Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and then of course he
Mm-hmm.
picked up those ring steps and they're stomping the announce tables, like because you could tell how PO'd he was, like walking around the ring, it's like
Mm-hmm.
no, but I mean, like I said, that robbery is still going on, like still unresolved issues and stuff like that. But they even played it in the storylines, like the next night on Raw, like when Theory told MVP's like, yeah, Bobby Lash, I've already beaten him twice, like he can't even beat Brock Lesnar. But I mean, right now Lesnar is like in a match wise, yeah, Lesnar beat him at Crown Royal and stuff like that. But I mean, still, I'd say probably either Elimination Chamber. I'll probably say WrestleMania. They'll probably either resolve it there, but who knows?
Yeah, I say more towards WrestleMania because they're going to definitely need matches at WrestleMania night 1 and night 2. So I definitely see they can. I don't see that being the last match though, because if you look at it, Bobby Lashley is 2-1 with no, Brock Lesnar is 2-1 with Bobby Lashley.
Yep,
So if Bobby Lashley wins at WrestleMania, then they got to finish it off at least at SummerSlam. You know what I'm saying, at this
exactly.
point, because because if you look at it like right now, at this point, like right now, that's one of the most talked about rivalries that's going on in the WWE right now between Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar. What you're looking at Bobby Lashley and her business is kind of reuniting in a way. You feel me?
Exactly. Just a matter of time
You
you
know.
see it reform to reform. But other than that, like I would sit there and just laugh, like with the Miz like being the first elimination, and then, of course how they played that story on the Raw the next time, like he was in there goes like,
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe I was the first elimination. I did all this, blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was laughing
Definitely,
at him, but yeah,
definitely.
yeah. But as far as like Seth Rollins though, it's like so basically right now he's gonna be feuding with Logan Paul, so since Paul eliminated him. So yeah, like Seth Rollins got to deal with him before he even gets to Cody Rhodes, like down the road.
Yeah, that's more towards a WrestleMania match. The way I look at it is Logan Paul is going to most likely beat Seth Rollins, and it's going to end up turning Seth Rollins back heel again.
I mean,
You
Seth
know what I
Rollins,
mean?
he's a better heel anyway.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, even though he's over with the fans, but still, like to me, he's a better heel.
Oh yeah, most definitely though. But I'm gonna tell you like this off subject though. There's one matchup that still needs to be resolved. What people don't understand, what I'm about to say is Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. They still got to resolve that match because if you look at it
Yep,
last year, Seth Rollins never tapped out. You feel me in that match? So
yep,
that match still needs to happen down the road because there's still unresolved issues right there. You feel me?
yep.
But what do you think about the women's Royal Rumble? Like, how do you feel about Rhea Ripley winning that one?
I mean, I expected her to win because like the way they're giving her a big push is like, I mean, especially like the stuff she's doing with the Judgment Day is like it was a matter
Mm,
of time. They're going to push her. It's like, but then but the big surprise is like, okay, who is she going to choose, Bianca or Charlotte? So basically, she
yeah.
chose Charlotte because I mean, yeah, because they had some unfinished business, so that's why she chose her, and
Mm,
that's why she came up with that promo. So Charlotte and your Flair, I'm gonna put you in your place, things like
mm.
that. So that remains to be seen. Who's going to face Bianca at WrestleMania? But well, of course, we're going to find out because that's why you got the Elimination Chamber just to build up for the WrestleMania moment. So whoever wins
Yeah.
that is going to face Bianca.
Like, who do you want Bianca Belair to face at WrestleMania?
Well, to me, I want Asuka because I mean, since she's leaning towards heel anyway, it's like she got this crazy gimmick, her inner Kana gimmick. So
Hmm.
I'd rather her go because I mean, Carmella, even though she came back, but she's not a strong enough heel. She's a good heel, but not heel like to be up there.
Mm. Well, if I have to say, I have Asuka, but I think that Bianca Belair and Alexa Bliss rivalry, I don't think that's over just yet.
No,
So I think honestly, because I think Alexa Bliss, she's going to find her way into that Elimination Chamber match. So
right.
if Alexa Bliss ends up winning that match, and how that Bray Wyatt six is kind of formulating and
Yeah.
putting her into that, then there's a strong possibility that it can be Alexa Bliss. But personally, for me, I definitely want Asuka to be in the matchup. You feel me? Because if you think about it, like right now, I actually want two people to actually face Bianca Belair. I really want Asuka, and I want Lacey Evans to face Bianca Belair. And no,
Yeah.
in the third one, Raquel Rodriguez. Those are like the top
Right.
three I want to face against Bianca Belair because Bianca Belair doesn't have competition like that on Raw right now because
Right.
she's like the Black John Cena because she's
Mhm.
so over with the fans right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So down the road, somebody needs to take the belt off her. So I either have Asuka, um, Alexa Bliss that possibly could do that, or Raquel Rodriguez, and I really want to see those three either battle it out in some form at some point at WrestleMania.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, I mean, yeah, Raquel Rodriguez, she's doing her thing, but she's still not there yet. Now, Alexa and Oscar, they both got experience. So I would say it had to be either one of those two who can take that title off of Bianca because, like I said, they've
Mhm.
been there before. They've been multiple champions before. So, and basically, with both of them being heels and stuff like that, I'd rather be one of those two. But if Raquel Rodriguez, like something like that, will make her turn heel, I mean, cool. But with her like upsetting Bianca like that, that's not gonna, do well in my eyes.
I feel you. That's why I said they need a mid card women's championship though.
Yeah,
They definitely do need a mid card women's champion because at the end of the day, if you look at like okay, if you look at it like this, on the male side, when it comes to championships, the world heavyweight champions, not the world, the universal and the WWE championships, it's rarely defended on TV. It's always
they
on a
don't
pay
want to
per
defend
view event.
it. It's barely defended on TV like over the years and stuff. Like they always save it for the pay-per-views.
Exactly, and then they have the mid cards where they usually goes like on the line on TV on Raw or SmackDown. You feel
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah, like the
So, but when,
Universal and the IC title. I mean, yeah, they're and the tag teams. Like, yeah, the lesser titles they're defended all the time on TV, but the like the big title, the main title, usually they save it for pay-per-views.
yeah, and I think Triple H needs to make a change in that direction to do better with that. Like start putting their and I know we're going off subject on a lot of stuff, but they definitely need to like start utilizing the Universal Championship and the WWE Championships and start defending on regular TV too. Because if you look at on AEW, that's what they do. They defend that. Well, they ain't been doing it as of late because MJF is the championship holder, but
Right.
they need to start defending the titles on TV more so people can really be drawn into the television more. But that's
Right.
neither here nor there. Let's get back to this Royal Rumble subject right now. You feel me?
Right.
All right, but back with the Royal Rumble now. The Alexa Bliss and Bianca Belair match, right? I didn't really like that match based off the fact that it was too short.
Well, heck, you got to think about those Royal Rumble matches. Like usually they go way past like the time that they needed. That's why like some of
Mm-hmm.
the single matches. That's why they had to cut them so short.
Yeah.
I mean, same thing
Not,
with the same with the match with L.A. Knight and Bray Wyatt. You know how I mean to me that was like more of a squash match.
that was a gimmick match. I hated that match.
A gimmick match, yeah, but it's also a squash match because Bray Wyatt pretty much dominated. Like L.A. Knight, he got a few moves here and there, but like I said, like how the match ended so quickly, then like Bray, he did this other transition, and then he threw him backstage, and here comes Uncle Howdy doing a coffin drop like Darby Allin. It's like boom, and it's like it's like really, this is where it's going to.
Yeah, I just think I just look at it like this, and it's in the perspective of it like this. I think LA Knight might end up becoming one of the members of the Wyatt Six down the road. Is a
Right.
possibility, but at the same time, I don't know because if you look at it right now with the Wyatt Six that's building into a faction, look at it like this: you already got Bray Wyatt, Alexa Bliss looks like she might be next up for that actual group, and then you got Uncle Howdy, aka Bo Dallas. Everybody knows it's Bo Dallas, so it's no secret. You know
Right.
what I mean? But think about it like this: they already got a crazy group like the Wyatt Six that's formulating. But what
Right.
about other groups that's formulating with Nikki Cross and Eric Young, rumored to be returning to the WWE and
Him
stuff like that?
Insanity.
Yeah, Sanity versus Wyatt Six, two crazy groups. So it's just
Hmm.
like how can that like okay, the Wyatt Six can be on SmackDown, but Insanity can be on Raw.
Hmm.
And then on NXT you have already got a crazy group with the Rock's daughter in that group.
Oh, Ava, yeah, Ava Run.
Hmm. So you already have three crazy groups on like factions on WWE on three different
Right.
brands. You know what I mean? But
Exactly.
look, but looking at the Wyatt Six, that's going to be definitely on SmackDown for sure.
Yep. I mean, yeah, because like and beyond like all the single matches. Oh, of course, let's talk about the main event, like Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens.
Hmm.
Yeah, because there was like already bad blood with Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns. Like, like of course Roman he won because Because obviously Roman Reigns, he can never win a match by himself. He's always got his family here and there, like helping him out. But he had Sami Zayn right there because he wanted, prove, say, hey, this is your final test. Roman Reigns beat, him and the family, beating the crap out of Kevin Owens. Like, he was about to nail him with that chair. And then Sami's like, no, 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 no. Like, you don't need to do this. Is beneath you, blah, blah, blah. The moment he hit him in that chair, I was like, uh-oh. This is where things are really going to get interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the moment he hit him that chair, it's like, in my mind, it's like, he's going to hit Roman. And lo and behold, he did. But what are your thoughts about that match?
Honestly, the way I looked at that match, I thought in a way it was just like kind of like a head scratcher. I really honestly wanted Kevin Owens to win because Roman Reigns had the title for too long, but obviously we knew that was going to happen, that Roman Reigns was going to win because he's going to keep it. I believe Roman Reigns is going to keep it until WrestleMania.
You're right.
I think he's going to drop both of the titles at WrestleMania from each respective branch. But the way I'm looking at it right now is like there's a lot of friction within the bloodline as it is already with Jey Uso, and I believe Jey Uso is like finally seeing the light for the fact that like what's actually going on at this point right now is he's seeing how corrupted his cousin is, and he wants to like move away from his cousin. And you could like, and if you saw SmackDown, you see how Jimmy Uso, how he was basically standing up to Roman Reigns when he was telling him that he didn't know where his brother was at.
Right.
And
yeah, because like he was asking, it's like, yeah, where's he at? Blah blah blah. I was like, this like don't know where he's at. He was like,
yeah, because he was like, because Roman was like, where is he at? And he said, and Jimmy said, and I said, I don't know, but I will call him. I will call him. That's what he said, right?
Yeah. Like,
so
yeah, like so Cole, he even asked him, he's like so he was just standing just silent, and he was like, I mean, I say sooner or later he'll develop like doing promos and stuff. But right now he's just basically the enforcer. Basically, everybody else is the mouthpiece.
Yeah, it's gonna get to the point where Solo Sikoa, he's gonna end up branching out on his own down the road. Because if you think about it from back in the days with Nation of Domination when The Rock was there, he ended up becoming a star and breaking out on his own.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the way he turned on Farouk and stuff, like he took over as a leadership, and then dealing Mark Henry, then turned on The Rock and booted him out. So basically, that was the elimination of the domination.
Exactly. And then if you look at it right now, like I said, I say within the next year, Solo Sikoa is going to be the next star out of that whole bloodline because Roman Reigns, he's trying to transition into Hollywood. So,
like his cousin.
Exactly. So Solo Sikoa is going to be the next star that's going to headline that family to push the envelope. You know what I'm saying? Definitely, right. Because he got similarities to Roman Reigns and The Rock when it comes to certain moves in the wrestling in the ring. You know what I mean?
Course,
so it's going to be kind of similar.
Yeah, because you're trying to use the finisher that Umaga uses, like that Samoan spike.
So Samoan,
but of course, like
that
that dude Haku, of course, he used it first.
Absolutely. But at the Royal Rumble, from what Sami Zayn had done, that was already imminent. That was going to happen regardless of it all anyway. You feel me? That was already going to happen based off the fact that you can see there was already friction starting from the jump anyway. Yeah. And if you look at it though, Sami, I ain't gonna lie, what made the bloodline better was Sami Zayn, honestly, because he made it funny in a way.
Yeah, because he was over with the crowd.
Exactly. Just like with the episode of SmackDown when trying to stick up for Jay when he said he's not very oozy.
Right.
Everybody
broke out of character because they were laughing. There's like they couldn't keep a straight face. It was like,
and Roman, everybody was just laughing. You were definitely right. And then the crowd just got over and saying, "Ooh, see." And then he said, then Roman said, "That's what it's all about. You're not feeling oozy." And then the same thing. It gets us. It beats like this. It gets us like that sometimes. Then they started laughing even harder. So the way it looks is in a perspective like this, um, they should have. I ain't gonna lie. They kind of should have kept that bloodline going with Sammy in it, but at the
Right.
same time, you could tell it was time for the change because if you look at it like this, I
Hmm.
honestly think Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn gonna take at least one of the titles off the Usos soon.
Right. I mean, yeah, because
Definitely could
that's a
see that happening.
yeah, because that's be my next topic was with the tag teams. Like, yeah, because you know what, the situation with Jay, of course, with that angle and things like that. But
Hmm.
then you got all who was, and then because Braun Strowman and Ricochet, they're gonna challenge them next week on SmackDown,
Hmm.
and it makes me wonder, okay, if say they didn't win the titles, like then who's gonna be next? Street Profits, OC. I mean, you got all these other tag teams willing to step up, like take those titles off of the Usos. Like it just kind of makes you wonder who's gonna be that team that's gonna take those titles off of them.
Well, I think on the Raw side is definitely no on the SmackDown side is definitely going to be Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Wow.
On Raw, personally, who I want to win is the Street Profits because they're gonna go do for another title.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Either the Street Profits or the OC. Those two are like the top two that really deserves the title on them at this point.
right,
Just like just like when I say on SmackDown, the Viking Raiders, they need the title on them sooner than later.
right. But right now they're feuding with
Yeah,
Sheamus and McIntyre.
yeah, and one of them, either Sheamus or Drew, going to turn heel. 9 times out of 10, it's definitely going to be Sheamus that's going to turn on Drew McIntyre,
Right,
and it's going to lead to a new rivalry. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, I don't think the Braun Strowman and Ricochet. I don't think they're going to win the title because there's going to be some interference, in my opinion. And I honestly think Braun Strowman he's better as a single star than a tag team competitor.
exactly. Like speaking of that, because I mean, look at SmackDown's like with their tag team divisions. Like you got mostly heels on there. Like you got the Viking
Mm-hmm.
Raiders. You got Hit Row, Legado,
Mm-hmm.
Del Fantasma. You got Imperium. Just as examples. Like the few face tag teams you have, of course, New Day, but they're the NXT Championship. I mean, Drew and Sheamus, they just became a tag, but you have the Fighting Brutes like Holland and Butch. And of course, usually they've been coming out as a tag team by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
Well,
just. Mhm.
like okay, Sheamus and Drew McIntyre they're better as single competitors. They don't need to be a tag team. Honestly, that's going to be short lived. If you look at the Brawling Brutes with uh uh Butch and I forgot the dude name.
Rich Holland.
Yeah, Rich Highlands. Yeah, it just came to me. Rich Highlands. That's going to be a good face tag team. I think like Imperium, you could tell they're starting to get over with the fans a little bit. You
Right,
could tell that a little bit they're starting to get over. It's going to take some time, but Hit Row needed to be heels because they're not good as face. People was why they bring them back? You know what I'm saying?
right.
So they need to be heels. So Hit Row is better as heels than their faces, anyways. Viking Raiders, they seem like they're more better as heels than they are faces.
Exactly. But
You know what I mean? But if you look at the tag team division, like I said, with Angel Gaza and Alberto, they need to turn face because they can get over with the crowd. And
mhm,
I think they kind of should mimic what Eddie Guerrero and Chavo Guerrero did, but have creative tendencies in their own way.
right,
You know what I'm saying? I think they should formulate that because they can be a good tag team in a sense. It's just that when it comes to that creative side of them, they're gonna have to really push them in that angle for SmackDown. You know what I mean?
yep,
Because SmackDown does have tag teams. It's just that it's not a balance of faces and heels.
right. I mean, see, to me, like, if I seen like the way the tag team division on SmackDown, like it's kind of like what AEW has. Like, even though like they got a lot of tag teams and single stars, like there's too many heels, not enough faces.
Yeah, I
I mean, of
agree.
course, I mean, yeah, we're gonna get with AEW in a minute, but you're basically gonna wrap up with with the WWE side because since the Royal Rumble's done, we're gonna build up for the Elimination Chamber. But let's talk about what's going on Raw because I mean, right now that we got Becky Lynch and Bailey, their feud is still going because we didn't have that steel cage match because
Mm-hmm.
they had to cut it off because one of the segments on Raw ran too long. So now next week, you about to get that cage match because even though like it was good setup, like the way Becky did, like hey, you got to hurt Dakota Kai just to force Bailey for the match. Like yeah, how about it? That was a
Mm-hmm.
good setup. Like
Absolutely. Um, the way I'm looking at it is like this should be the final installment to their saga.
yeah,
Um, but I don't think it's gonna be because Bailey won one. It looks like Becky Lynch might win the next one, and I think
yeah,
they finished that match in at WrestleMania. That
yeah, I can see
rivalry is
that.
going to finish at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and my other
Yeah,
thing is
definitely.
yeah, my thing on the women's side, okay, like with Meechin and Candice LeRae, even though they kind of brought them back for a little bit, they may get a win here and there, but I mean they're only there just to get other people over. I mean for the time being, yeah, because I mean Meechin, yeah, she was supposed to be the answer for Rhea Ripley, but like I said, that was short lived and stuff like that. Because AJ Styles, he's hurt, and the OC, you haven't seen them yet, so I guess they're trying to work on a like an angle for them, like just to get back in on TV, like who can they
Mm-hmm.
feud with next. Oh yeah, and of course my other thing is I want to get your opinion about the Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm. Uh, if you look at the Judgment Day is one of the biggest factions in WWE right now.
Yeah,
Because after they turned on Edge, the way I look
yeah,
at it, you could tell it's the start of a good faction. Honestly, I don't care for the faction like that, but that's the start of a good faction because if you look at Triple H known for factions. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like when Vince McMahon was being the creative and running WWE, they hardly had any factions.
No,
Now they have factions in WWE, and that's what's needed. And Judgment Day is giving the anchor of what a faction is and what is needed because there's only two major factions right as of right now that's going on, and that's the Bloodline and Judgment Day
yeah,
at this point. And if you look at Judgment Day, they're gonna be around for a long time. That's actually a good faction for the WWE right now. Behind the Bloodline at this point. Um, what I see though, one of them is going to end up being a champion down the road. I could honestly, you might laugh at me for this though, but I honestly could see Dominic Mysterio becoming like either U.S. champion or Intercontinental champion down the road, because the way he's kind of a coward still, but that
yeah,
prison gimmick is kind of
yeah,
like getting over with the fans in a way. You know what I mean? That prison
yeah,
gimmick is kind of getting over with the fans.
yeah. But the big thing, like the real true star of the Judgment Day is Rhea Ripley because you got to think
Oh yeah.
about it. Yeah, because like she's been the X Factor, like in
Mm-hmm.
all the matches, like usually like when the men trying to get like all their stuff
Mm-hmm.
done, but they would never got it done without her interference because you got to think about it. Time she'll interfere,
Mm-hmm.
she'll step in the guy's way, either one body slam it like Luke Gallows, or she'll stand away like trying to dare them to punch her and stuff like that. Like, but you got to think, I mean, you got to give it like I said after seeing that, say yeah, she's the true star of the Judgment Day, not Damian Priest, not Finn Balor,
Mm-hmm.
definitely not Dom
Mm-hmm.
Mysterio.
Okay. Well, breaking news. I got some breaking news. I'm gonna speak on it. All right. Uh, got some major news for y'all to know. Okay. So, do y'all remember Booker T's Reality of Wrestling?
Yeah.
Well, they just announced a partnership with NXT.
Oh, that's great because well, yeah, with him being announced in full time, it's like that'd be great.
That's actually a good move for NXT and Realities of Wrestling because with Realities of Wrestling, they got some good up and coming wrestlers there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's actually good business for WWE and bringing more wrestlers within the whole organization. So that's a good thing. But back to the Judgment Day talk, right? So yeah, I agree with you 100% with the Rhea Ripley aspect of it. Rhea Ripley, um, she is the X factor of the group. And crazy thing is though, I thought like on TV she looks like she's taller than what she is, but in actuality she's only 5'8".
Yeah. It's the
You know what
lifts
I
on her
mean?
boots.
Yeah, the boots make her taller than what she is, but she's actually 5'8". Like, what I'm saying? Like, okay, you look at like Sinister. I think he like 6'1".
No, just no, basically 5'11".
So you 5'11", I'm like 6'3". You know what I'm saying? So look at that Rhea Ripley. I'm like, you gotta look really down at her. Like, wow, she that short. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So she's the X factor, but to me, with Rhea Ripley, she's like the next China.
yeah,
You know what I mean? She's like the 10th wonder of the world right now. You feel me?
yep,
So with her, yeah, she Rhea Ripley's going to be pushed into a mega star within the WWE sometime this year.
yeah.
Like
Even though
if
she gives her
not now,
doctors,
but she's definitely gonna have a big push. Huh,
mhm.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, like she was giving like props to China, but she didn't. She doesn't want to try to be like her. I mean, I
Nah,
understand the comparison.
she don't.
I understand the comparison, but she wants to do her own thing.
Absolutely, and there's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, she's gonna have a major push. I think she's gonna end up beating Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania.
Mhm.
Um, but she's gonna definitely get a push. You know what I mean? Definitely. But like,
All
let
right.
me ask you this on the women's side. Like,
Uh-huh.
you know what you say?
No, no,
Know what you say?
I was gonna say something about that, but yeah, yeah, we can mention the
No, no,
women.
no,
Like,
no. Go ahead. Say what you got to say. No, no. Go ahead. Say what you got about to say.
I mean, yeah, like with the real, like, I mean, I said the scenario is like, say she wins, like, I mean, I do you see
Mm-hmm.
Judgment Day moving to SmackDown, like, say they ever do that draft thing again, which, like I said, that probably likely will, but
Yeah, they're supposed to do a draft right after WrestleMania.
yeah, because I mean, yeah, because you think about it, like with the Judgment Day on Friday nights, it's like, okay, I mean, I know in that aspect it's something fresh, but thing is, you got another heel faction coming to in there, like, and of course you got
Mm-hmm.
groups like, of course you got Imperium, like, I mean, look out, but it depends like whoever's gonna get moved around. But however, I mean, yeah, it's a fresh aspect. But say if Rhea Ripley is the women's champions, like, I mean, you can see you're probably going against. I mean, other than Charlotte, Raquel Rodriguez, unless she don't get moved. Who else? Ronda Rousey, if she ever turns face, but I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, like on there, it's kind of limited, like for the faces of the women's side because I mean, yeah, you got Liv Morgan, but I mean Shotzi, she's like kind of pretty much low on the totem pole. Nadia, she's kind of in the middle. Lacey Evans, like I said, she's on the heel side, but I mean, I don't know. It's like it's just probably a lot of things they got to clean up. But oh yeah, there's something I would definitely want to mention. Of course, this was at a Royal Rumble. A hilarious moment is like Chelsea Green. I mean, that was out of nowhere that she came out and how she got eliminated in seconds, and she, they have this whole Karen angle with her. I mean, what are your thoughts about that?
I ain't got. Oh yeah, man. With Chelsea Green and her complaining about stuff and how she was within the whole thing.
Yeah,
Honestly, they're gonna really utilize her in a way. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna be a part of a faction very soon. The
right.
way I see it,
Mm-hmm.
with her husband Zack Ryder, aka Matt Cordell.
Um, Mark,
So,
Matt Cardona. Mm-hmm.
yeah, Matt Cordona. So there's gonna be a faction brewing with Chelsea Green.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know she's on Raw, so
Right.
the way it is with her is she's definitely gonna get a push in the WWE.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you right now, there's going to be a lot of talent gunning for the titles. Like Bianca Belair and Charlotte Flair, they're not going to be champions for too much longer. I think, like I said, Bianca Belair, I think she's going to drop the title at WrestleMania against Asuka. But at
Yeah.
the same time, Michin, I think she's going to get a push. Chelsea Green definitely going to get a push.
Yeah.
On Raw, on SmackDown, I see either Tegan Knox or Shotzi get a shot, like get a push soon too. But they deserve pushes right now. Liv Morgan, she need to go back into the tag team division.
Right. Speaking of tag teams, like, okay, with Damage Control, Io Sky and Dakota Kai, it's like barely anybody's challenged them for the tag title. I mean, yeah, we had a few matches here and there, but really, who's really going to take those titles off them? It's like it's not going to happen anytime soon.
I can tell you who. Shotzi Blazer and Ronda Rousey.
Why you say that?
Reason why I say that is because there was an interview a while back, and Ronda Rousey said she want a tag team run.
No, her and Shayna Blazer.
Yeah, my fault. Yeah, Shayna Blazer. I butchered the name. Shayna Blazer. Mm-hmm. So I think them two going to end up taking the titles off of
Damage
Dakota Kai. Yeah, for Damage Control. Right Kai now,
Kai and Sky.
Honestly, Damage Control, they really don't need championships on them at this point. Bayley, she don't need a championship on her at this point.
No, she's over without it. I mean.
Exactly. She don't need a championship right now. At this point. To me, she's like the female MJF right now. In a way.
Yeah, because really, it was like before, like when during her feud with Bianca, it's like, I kind of had her like taking that title off of Bianca, but of course she had 3 tries to do it and she failed all 3. She was 0 for 3. She was basically like what Seth Rollins did with Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, but the way I look at it right now, Bianca Belair, I want her to keep the title for the long haul, but at some point she's gonna have to get the title off her. So
yeah, because you don't want people getting tired of her. It's okay, she's had that title for long. Who's gonna beat her for? Like it's time for a big name heel to take it off her, so that way, hey, she could probably like take time off and heal up, because you gotta think about it. Like she's been, outside of the ring, yeah, she's basically over. Like you said, the female John Cena, she's doing shows, like doing movies and all kind of things outside the business. So with her dropping the title, I mean, she's still gonna be over, stuff like that. But I mean, yeah, it's just time for somebody new, like get a run at the title, see how, what they could do. I was hoping Rhea Ripley would do it, but like I said, I understand, her and Charlotte got unfinished business. So, I just want to see somebody else. Like, I mean, let me be clear. I'm not against Bianca Belair. I love Bianca Belair. I'm just thinking that, like, from a, storyline standpoint, it's like, I don't want people to get tired of her holding that title for so long, especially when you're a face.
Yeah. But I got 2 dark horses of, like, who can actually take the title, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I got like 2 dark horses. And y'all might laugh at me. I might think I'm crazy. But one of them, I got to say Nikki Cross. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think like Nikki Cross, to me, she's like a dark horse, like one of the dark horse favorites to actually win the title off of Bianca Belair, because she's crazy. Yeah. She got a lot of moves. She do have strength on her, but she do got some crazy moves that she can actually do. You feel me? And another dark horse I could actually say is Shane Doudrop no more, but Piper
Niven.
Piper Niven.
Yeah, that's her original name.
Yeah, so I honestly think that those 2 are like the dark horses that actually could take the title off of Bianca Belair outside of Asuka. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm glad that she got rid of that Doudrop name. That was stupid, but yeah, she's back to her Piper Niven gimmick. I was like, but yeah, it's just like, now we need Triple H to do something with her, like something to build her up with. Like Nikki Cross, like for a time, when she attacked everybody, and then she kind of teamed up with Damage Control, and I mean, she was like with them for a little bit. Then she was just off to the side somewhere. And then she was in the Royal Rumble, and then now she's in the Elimination Chamber. So hey, I mean, I don't know, just here and there, like how they're gonna do it, like story wise.
Yeah, definitely. But the way I also look at it is that it's good that Triple H is actually be back on the creative side, on Raw, SmackDown.
Well, yeah, it's the fun to say so.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, there definitely needs to be pushes with other wrestlers instead of seeing the same people, because people will get tired of seeing the same wrestlers. So that's why I say there needs to be different rivalries in the forefront at this point. Like Bianca Belair needs the title dropped There needs to be new championships. Hell, you never know. You might see a Carmelo versus Zelina Vega matchup for the Universal Women's Championship. That would be dope.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or get Mia Chin wrestling against Chelsea Green or something for the
Right.
championship. You feel me? Like there needs to be different like people in the forefront to actually have these title reigns. You feel me? Outside of Bianca Belair and all that, because it does tend to get old barren having the same people for the long periods of time.
Yeah, because you want to keep it fresh out there.
Absolutely.
All right. All right. With that being said, well, I mean, still sticking to WWE. Let's move on to Vince McMahon. Like, all right, like, yeah, not many people were happy with him, because he wormed his way back into the company, and then, Stephanie, she didn't want her dad back for some reason, and that's why she resigned from all her positions. You know what? Like, you know what? I'm out. I'm done. But I was like, blah, but everybody was worried about it. It's like, oh man, Vince back in, like, he's gonna take back over creative, and it's like, well, of course, Triple H, clear the air about that. Like, when it comes to creative, it's like, no, that's all me. I have the
Mm-hmm.
final say, so Vince has nothing to do with it. Vince is just only there just until the company gets sold. Then he's gonna be done. But
Mm-hmm.
what are your thoughts about that?
Vince McMahon, he basically made a stupid decision by returning back to the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I say he made a dumb decision by returning back to the WWE is based off the fact, and these are the facts that I'm saying to y'all, based off the fact that he already had lawsuits on him, a lot of sexual harassment cases on him, and he just made the WWE look bad by him trying to return. So that right there with him was not a wise decision for him to return back at this point.
Mm-hmm. Right.
We do understand that he misses WWE, you know what I mean? But it still don't change the fact that he has a lot of cases under his belt, and he's going to go out like Joel Osteen if he keeps. Now, it's I forgot that dude name, Joe Elstein or something like that. The dude
Joe
that
Osteen,
ended
yeah.
up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I did say the name right. Okay, with him. With all the sexual harassment claims that they got on his belt, man, you know what I'm saying? They're going to cancel Vince McMahon. So, but he's not focused on the creative side of WWE. He's not coming back on the creative side, so that's the good thing. But it's more of skepticism of who's going to buy WWE at this point.
Right.
You know what I
Because I
mean?
mean,
Wolf. Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's a lot of names out there. Like, there was that group over there in Saudi Arabia. There was another one off Amazon. Of course, the WWE. Oh, not WWE. Warner Brothers Discovery. There's one of them like Nick Khan. He even threw his name in the hat, like him and his dad. Threw a name in there. It's like, I mean, of course Universal. That's what NBC is under, because I mean WWE and NBC have that great relationship. That's why they're on Peacock, and that's why Raw's on USA. But I mean, it's just, I mean, who knows? Like, who's gonna win the bid? Things like, hey, what up, Ray? NBC Universal. Okay.
Yeah, what up, Ray?
Yeah.
I have to go with, like, if I had to gamble and put my money on something, I would put my money definitely on either Fox or NBC Universal at this point. Um,
Right.
if Saudi Arabia buys WWE, then WWE is gonna go down here from there. Then AEW is gonna be the number one place to watch wrestling.
Yeah, I agree. It's like, I mean, I'd rather somebody here in the States buy them. Like, yeah, whether it be NBC Universal or Amazon, like, try to keep it here in the States and stuff like that. But like I say, NBC Universal, I'll say probably the top one, because, like I said, with that worker relationship, I would say that.
Most definitely, that's how I feel too.
Right. Oh yeah, like before you move on to everybody out there, like I said, Ray and I, man, we used to work together and things like that. He's the one, we went to AEW and stuff like that. Of course, we're gonna, discuss that in a bit. Yeah, he's the reason we was able to watch those shows, like the one in Cincinnati, and of course this past one up in Lexington. So yeah, we're definitely gonna discuss more about the AEW side. So.
Most definitely. But yeah, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel.
Yep.
Letting everybody know we doing this type of podcast once a month. So
Yep.
unless y'all want us to make it weekly, it's gonna be a once a month thing.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, this is our first episode. It's gonna be a monthly thing. Like, we're definitely gonna talk about, not just WWE, but we're gonna discuss AEW, Impact, New Japan, things like that. But as far as like to close out the whole WWE sales, um, like I said, if you had a betting man, who would say be the top two other than I'd say like if NBC, Universal, and Saudi Arabia don't get it, who would say why be like a lucky runner up?
Fox.
Let's say Fox. To
Mm-hmm.
me, I would say either Amazon or well, I can't say WWE. I mean WB Discovery, but I say more of Amazon because they have way more money.
Yeah, it's one of those two. You never know.
Yeah, but the cons, like heck, I wouldn't sleep on the cons. Like even though that they own the Jacksonville Jaguars and those soccer clubs over there in England, things like that. But I mean, yeah, because think about that. I mean, you got to think about AEW crossover with WWE and stuff like that. That's gonna be hard to run.
The
Not,
thing about it is, though, if you look at it like this, I don't think it would be a good idea for the cons to buy WWE based off the fact that they don't even know how to run Ring of Honor.
nope.
It don't make no sense. Like why would they want to buy WWE? They don't know how to run Ring of Honor at all.
Right. But speaking of that much, now we can should focus on the AEW. The past two Dynamites, like, have you? What do you think about those episodes? The past two episodes.
The past two Dynamites, it's been more of a hit or miss.
Mhm.
Like some of the matches, like this past week episode of AEW Dynamite, I wasn't really impressed with what I've seen based off the fact that some of the matchups was like again hit or miss.
I
It's
know
just
because you
like the
got.
way that these. No, go ahead.
No, just saying. I'm just agreeing with you.
I was saying like the way these wrestlers are being booked, it's just
Yeah.
like you've seen the same people, but it's just like this is my thing with AEW. This is what my gripe has been with AEW. Like you see how WWE is in its own lane, its own circle of
Right.
actually how they have their own wrestlers. But why, when it comes to AEW, they have to venture out to other promotions to do so, where they got a whole bunch of roster talent on, like a whole bunch of talent in their company, but they got to venture out to New Japan or other outlets to have wrestlers on their platform. Whereas AEW got all the talent in the world, and they could have the wrestlers have their own matches. Like okay, if you
Yeah.
look at Will Ospreay from New Japan and
Yeah.
Jay White from New Japan, and they had to come to AEW to do some matches. Whereas they got all the talent in the world. Look at, and then another thing is they're signing too many wrestlers to their rosters and they're not utilizing them. That's my main gripe with AEW.
Yeah. Like my only issue, one of my issues is that like they got way too many heels and not enough faces.
Absolutely, that is a divine fact that it has way too many heels. It's like 70% heel, 30% face, and if Kenny Omega and Young Bucks turn heel again, then that's basically it, bro. Because there's too many heels going on in AEW at this point. There's not enough balance. The women's division pretty much sucks because, like on last week's Dynamite, they only had one match for the women. And that was between Jade Cargill and Red Velvet, the only
Right.
match. So I'm just like, why would y'all just have only one match in the time in the matches supposed to be for 20 minutes apiece, and it's been some of these matches has been more than 20 minutes.
Right.
So that's what my gripe is about AEW. It's just there's a lot of like Tony Khan is trying to be hee hee ha with the wrestlers, but he got to understand that he owns AEW, so he's the boss. So he got to really like man up and say what it's going to be when it comes to these wrestlers. You know what I mean? Like Kenny Omega needs to do a better job with the women's division because the women's division is really not doing nothing at this point. Like Willow Nightingale, she needs a push
Yeah.
for real. She definitely needs a push. Same thing with Ruby Soho. She needs a push.
Yeah. Because you got to think about it. You got some of the women that were in AEW from the beginning, like Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, Riho, just to name a few. All the
Mm.
rest of them came from outside of WWE. Like Saraya, aka Paige. I know, yeah, Tony Storm. Who else? I mean, just like I said, Ruby. So there were just so many that came from the outside looking in, and it seemed like now like they're using that few, like but ever since Saraya and Tony turned heel and stuff like that. They're using that outside, looking in, like, oh yeah, we're the most dominant, things like that. But just the way the storyline is terrible right now. But I mean, but Jade Cargill, like, don't get me wrong, I love Jade Cargill, but the thing is, she's like the Roman Reigns of the women's division. She's unbeaten. Like nobody's able to beat her. It's not for her title.
I think at AEW Revolution, her title ring gonna be over with.
And like I said, Ray and I, we had the pleasure of meeting Willow Nightingale at the meet and greet.
Dang,
I
I
mean,
know
yeah,
she fine.
she's real cool, very positive. Like I was like, yeah, like yeah, because like by the way, I plan on doing. I had some video clips like from the show that Ray and I attended. I'm trying to get that build up from my channel, but because when I ever get some time, I'll definitely post it. Give y'all a heads up when I'm going to premiere things like that. But as far as like Willow, because the time I spoke to her, I congratulated her like winning her match, against Leela Gray, getting her all elite status. But yeah, like I mean, I was kind of like iffy about her teaming up with Ruby Soho, but I gave it a chance. Let's see how it works. But by herself, I mean, yeah, I mean, she definitely needs a push. Like, I could definitely see her like going for the championship.
Yeah, her, Ruby Soho, Anna Jay, and Ty Conti.
Mhm.
Those are like the originals that was at AEW. But
Right.
before, like Ty Conti, she was at NXT though a couple years ago. People that don't know,
Oh.
she was at NXT. But like to keep it all the way trill, to keep it like honest formality, to not sugarcoat nothing. Like I said, if you look at Dynamite, like I said, it was trash. Um, a lot of these wrestlers are not being utilized. We're seeing too much of the Jericho Appreciation Society.
Hmm.
Like they need about a week or two off of
Right.
wrestling. They need to not be on TV. Uh, Rusev, aka Muro, he needs to make a return.
Right.
And same thing. If you look at House of Black, they're getting a push again finally, but they're not. In my opinion, I feel like they're still not getting utilized properly.
Right.
Because they have yet to even win a championship on AEW.
Right. Because I mean, with Aleister Black and like not Aleister Black, Malachi Black. I take that element.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Malachi and Brody King, it's like either I could see them as a tag team or Brody King and Buddy Matthews. I could see them either being the tag titles or let Malachi try to go for the heavyweight title.
Yeah, but if you look at it though, with Malachi Black, he has next year is going to be his last year on a contract with AEW, and
Hmm.
he's going to be he's going to leaving. Same thing with MJF. You know what I'm saying? Like if you look at a good amount of the AEW originals are on their final year of their contract. Even the Young Bucks of Kenny Omega, they're on their last year. Like this is their last year of their contract, and then next year they'll be free agents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But AEW was started by Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
One of them left. Cody Rhodes went back to WWE, and now he's being pushed to a megastar right now.
Yeah, because that's something I want to add my 2 cents on. Like when
Mm-hmm.
he trying to discuss, like, yeah, he was wrestling without a contract. Like him and Tony Khan trying to come to a deal about a contract, but Cody he asked for a certain amount of money. Tony didn't want to give it to him because like this one CM Punk was still there. And it's like, oh, hey, CM Punk was like his merchandise sent way over than yours. I said, wait a minute. I mean, I came from WWE. Like I wrestled like CM Punk, but hey, I started this company and stuff like I helped find this company. But yeah, you're gonna give an outsider more money over me? And stuff like that. I guess just they're gonna come to agreement. I guess they kept it classy, professional. It's like, hey, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
And, it's been a good run, but it's time for him to be out. Like him and Brandy, they left. He went back to WWE. I say
I,
some other wrestlers are gonna be out. Like some of the other originals, some of them are already left. Like for example, look at the Dark Order. Like one of the guys he left to go back to Impact Wrestling.
mm-hmm.
One of them he turned heel. So
Mm-hmm.
there's only like a few of them left. you know.
Absolutely. Um, Honestly, I think the Dark Order they're going to rebuild in their squad again. They're going to rebuild it. So I see that happening.
And the whole
But
Ring of Honor, man, it was like like for them to be on TV, they had to use the whole streaming service. Like the Ring of Honor Club. It's like, no, I'm not wasting my money.
Nah, I'd rather watch it on YouTube because they have it on YouTube also.
Exactly, because like, I mean, yeah, Tony Khan, you purchased them, but you don't know how to utilize it. You don't know, you're not running it properly. It's like you kind of mix it in with Dynamite and Rampage. It's like it's throwing everybody off.
Yeah, but you also got to think about it with Dark and Dark Elevation. Those two YouTube wrestling shows.
Yep,
Majority of them wrestlers are wrestling without a contract.
yep,
So that's my gripe about AEW. When it comes to Tony Khan, he doesn't know how to do business well when it comes to wrestling. He's not really well equipped when it comes to the wrestling side at all.
no. That's why like when it comes to booking, I mean, yeah, Triple H is the best one, like out of the two.
Oh yeah, most definitely. If you look at WWE New Japan, not yeah, but WWE New Japan, and you look at MLW,
Uh-huh.
those are like the best three when it comes to booking their wrestlers.
Yeah,
AEW still ain't got it together because AEW when it comes to like scripting their segments, they're more like kind of like free flowing. You know what I mean?
right. Yeah,
They don't have no structure. They don't have nothing put together. Why you think William Regal had left AEW?
right. Because he put his clause in his contract. It's like, hey, don't renew my deal. It's like, hey, look, I'm opting out because his son's back in WWE wants to be closer to him, so that's why Tony Khan honored his deal, like honored his request.
But like within that release, he cannot wrestle. Well, he cannot be in the forefront of the camera until next year. So he has to remain behind the scenes until at least next year.
I mean, he prefers to be behind the scenes anyway. Because it's
Exactly.
like, yeah, because his intention was not to be on camera. He didn't want to be an on-screen character. He wanted like help the younger guys behind the scenes and stuff like that. But Tony Khan, he came up to him and was like, hey man, you well known, blah blah blah. It's like we don't have you as an on-screen character. It's like Regal, he was hesitant. It was like he just went along with it. But after a while, he's seen like how it was run behind the scenes. Like, I'm not feeling it. It's like I said, look, I asked for my release.
Yeah, but I'm telling you right now, Miro's contract is going to be up by at least next year.
Well,
I
Brian
think.
Cage, his contract's about to be up too.
Yeah, I think his contract is up this year though.
Yeah.
The
Well,
Brian Cage.
basically, yeah, probably in a few weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his contract is definitely going to be up, but a lot of the AEW originals that is there, a lot of their contracts is basically coming up. MJF, his contract is up next year, but
Yep.
I think he's going to end up re-signing with AEW.
Yeah. I mean, right now that's a good fit for him.
Because WWE, he's not going to do well in WWE.
No, he'd be buried. He'd be like way in the back because they got WWE got way too many talents. Like he'd be buried, and he'd be like a low card or probably a low mid card or something like that. You want to see him like facing Roman Reigns or Corey. I mean Cody, yeah, because they faced each other before, but he's not gonna be up there like in the main event, status.
At least that's it. I don't see it as like of right now, no, but the way I'm looking at the whole ordeal right now, and from this point forward of how I'm seeing it, the AEW to me is falling by the wayside. Like how they got the new stage and new barriers around the ring. To me, I'm not impressed with none of it.
No.
It's not impressive at all. You ain't like, wow, that look amazing. No, it's just a lot of things with AEW. And don't get me wrong, I still see potential with AEW being successful. It's just that the wrestlers need to be booked better.
Right.
They need to stop signing talent. With AEW, they need to do not sign any more talent. Focus on AEW and Ring of Honor. That's the only priority. If they don't have AEW Dark and Dark Elevation, let the wrestlers from AEW wrestle instead of
Right.
using outside talent. Why you think Booker T is partnering up with NXT with
Mhm.
Realities of Wrestling, and they're doing a lot of events with one another?
Right.
So that's a good look. When you look at AEW, they got too many outside talent that's going in without contracts.
Yeah. Right. Because like speaking from my perspective, like all right, let's go back to October last year. That was my first AEW show that I went to see live. Like
Mm-hmm.
I said, my buddy Ray, he was there. Like that was like Moxley's hometown. It was cool, like experiencing it up close. To me, that card was way better than the one that we saw here in Lexington because me and him we came to agreement. It's like we wanted to see the elite up close or see Jay Cargill, like, but that didn't happen. It's like, and of course, like the card had to change at the last minute because Britt Baker she got hurt, but she
Mm-hmm.
only appeared just during that one segment just to distract Tony Storm while she was wrestling Ruby Soho. But I mean, don't get me wrong, like that was like my first time seeing Dark Elevation, Dynamite, then Rampage on there. But after seeing the Rampage card during that time, I was like, the card is not that strong. It's like that's why we left. I was like, yeah. After Adam Page had to beat Wheeler Yuta, it's like, man, let's go. This card sucks.
Yeah, but also look at it like this: Adam Cole, honestly, bro,
Yeah,
like he should have stayed in WWE, man, because he's doing him. He definitely won't be getting pushed. Same thing with
yeah,
Kyle O'Reilly. He's not gonna get pushed like that, man. Like even Bobby Fish even said he didn't like his time at AEW.
yeah. That's why you went to Impact Wrestling. Of course, that's a better fit for him. He'll get definitely more screen time there.
Yeah, but Bobby Fish he also said he wants to return to WWE because Triple H is being the head honcho there.
I mean, yeah, but down the line, yeah. But right now, because if he signs with WWE right now, he's gonna be buried. It's like,
No, I think he'll probably return back to NXT.
I mean, yeah, that'd be the only way because, like I said, Raw and SmackDown, he'll be buried in like buried somewhere. Like you better not see him at all. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's just, I mean, like I said, WWE. I mean, like I said with AEW, we don't want them signing too many people.
Yeah, I think right now, as far as with WWE, I think they need to just not sign anybody else.
Right.
They don't need to sign anybody else in WWE. Same thing with AEW. They don't need to sign anybody else. Keep the rosters that they have right now, and keep building the characters up. Like right now, the top two individuals that's like over like right now that's got a strong following connection right now is
Yeah.
definitely Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt. Those are the
Yeah.
top two like merchandise sellers, and Cody Rhodes is going to be right behind them as the top three merchandise sellers.
Well, heck, Royal Rumble, it was basically Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, it was Cody Rhodes. He was the man of the whole show.
Mhm.
But at the same time, those three are going to be the top three merchandise sellers in the WWE. Cody
Right.
Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and doggone Bray Wyatt.
Right. Yeah, like to continue on with AEW, like I mean, like I said, like if anybody out there is like anybody is a fan, like if Dynamite comes to your town, I mean definitely I want to definitely hear your response out there. But how was the show
Facts.
and stuff like that behind the scenes. But the only thing I have to give like them the L on is their merchandise. Like I mean, we went on to see what kind of merchandise they has. Like I'm like, man, this like the merchandise that we saw in Lexington, it was worse than the one in Cincinnati, but I was able to get a shirt out of it and like didn't have to pay tax on it. But the merch that didn't have what I was looking for is like I was like, really? Because I
Mm-hmm.
can see what they're trying to do is like they're trying to force you to go on ProWrestlingTees.com to buy their shirts, which you have to pay extra like fees, shipping, and taxes and stuff like that. Like I was like, come on. I was like, this limited section, it's terrible. But overall, I mean, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the show, had a good time, especially with the meet and greets.
Right,
I mean,
right,
like,
right.
but overall, like in the business sense, like the way it's being booked, because yeah, think about it. AEW was started in 2019,
Mm-hmm.
so basically they're the baby of the groups, like versus the other ones. Like New Japan, they've been around for 51 years. WWE, they've been around since 1963.
Mm-hmm.
TNA, now Impact, they've been around for 20. Well, this will be their 21st year.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of those promotions have like experience under the belt
Yeah, but
and stuff.
would you like, on a side note, like, what do you think about game changing wrestling, like GCW?
I've only seen a little bit about it. I really can't say much about it other than some of the clips I saw on Dark Side of the Ring. Especially with Nick Gage and David Arquette.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I saw some of the guys like I see Matt Cardona. He'd be on there like little clips here and there, but I have to see more before I get my opinion about. Now for MLW, I've been seeing some videos about them online. Like I've
Mm-hmm.
seen guys like Leo Rush, ACH, formerly Jordan Miles. Like anybody don't know who Jordan Miles was, because why he left W because of the whole shirt incident. I mean, they got some good talent. Oh, that's where what's his name? Oh, Brian Pillman Jr. I mean, he was
Hmm.
great over there. It's like he shouldn't have went to AEW because he went to he's like a small fish in a big pond. He's just being buried. you
Oh
know,
yeah,
he,
most definitely. He's definitely getting buried. Um, but if you look, I'm gonna tell you like this: with GCW, to me, GCW is what ECW is right now.
right.
If you look at ECW back then,
Hmm.
it's just like how Changer Wrestling is. They got a lot of death matches. They got a lot of regular type of matches. It just get real crazy in that atmosphere. Because I seen one episode, it was like, wow, you feel me? Like if y'all watched the episode of AEW when Nick Gage ended up battling against Chris Jericho in a death match, then you'll definitely see like how
Right.
it really is in GCW.
Right.
But in death matches is very dangerous. So if you
Hmm.
want to be a wrestler, be careful with that type of match because you can really die from that type of match.
I mean, yeah, because like I've seen like other indie shows, like almost like that backyard wrestling style. Like, I mean, you gotta think about it. I mean, that's what you love to do, but the thing is, you're putting your health at risk. Like, especially
Mm-hmm.
like you getting cracked open with like those fluorescent balls. You're like, how poison that some of that stuff is if it gets in your
Mm-hmm.
system.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I
Look
see
like
guys like getting cut open and like I was like, really, like, dudes, like, don't you have health insurance?
look at John Moxley. He did a few matches with GCW.
Yep. I mean, yeah, that's the only guy I really like over in AEW. Of course, him and Jericho and MJF, like all things like that. But
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Like I'm looking at the roster right now on GCW, and the major player is Nick Gage.
yeah, he's the top guy there. 'Cause
And they got a hell of a lot of wrestlers in this roster over there at GCW.
right, but as far as I continue on, yeah, like the way there's just the structure is but the important thing I want to talk about is the free agency.
Mm-hmm.
So right now over in New Japan, like Ibushi and Jay White, like their contracts are up and they're free agents. Also the NWA, well, of course he's not there anymore. It's Nick Aldis.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely a free agent. So right now, what do you say like any of these guys would go?
Oh, who's the two people? Say it one more time.
Oh, one is Nick Aldis, Mickey James's husband. The other one is
Mm-hmm.
Ibushi, and the other guy is Jay White from New
All
Japan.
right, all right. Nick, the dude Nick, he's going to go to WWE.
Hmm.
I see that going to WWE. He's gonna start off in NXT, but he's gonna get a major push in WWE. He's got a star like mentality, so he's definitely gonna get pushed. When you look at Abushi,
Hmm.
he's gonna renew. I think he's either gonna renew his contract with New Japan, or is a possibility he might go to AEW.
Right.
You know what I mean? And when it comes down to Jay White,
Yeah.
he's gonna go to WWE.
Okay. Well, for me and Nick Aldis, I say he'll go to WWE. If not, I say he probably go to probably back to Impact or New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
For Jay White, if he doesn't sign with New Japan, I say AEW is a better fit for him. Ibushi, I say stay in Japan. Probably some of another organization like either Noah or All Japan. If not,
Now,
like mhm.
I'm gonna tell you why I see Jay White is going to most likely probably going to WWE. And if you look at Jay White don't have the best relationship with Tony Khan, like off air. You feel what I'm saying? And if you look at what's going on with his friends Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly and
Yeah.
what's going on over there, you can see that there's some discrepancies what's going on over there
Mm.
at AEW. So I don't see Jay White really being at AEW in that sense. I see more so WWE
Or
because
Impact.
or Impact. And the reason why I say more so WWE or Impact is because in WWE they definitely would form a faction with him, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, or Roderick Strong, Bobby Fish into one like a 5-man faction,
You're right.
and they could do some. They could definitely do some damage for sure.
Right. Of course, Nick Aldis, like Mickey James' husband. Because like I say, you never see him in a WWE ring. Let's say I say they'd be like a destination because I mean, yeah, you've been to Japan, you've been in Impact Wrestling because that's where I first seen them at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, of
And
course, like go ahead.
I would say, and not only that though, the WWE has strong interest in getting Nick, so
Right,
they want to sign him. So I could see that happening very very soon.
right, and of course another free agent, of course, she already signed, and that's Mercedes Monet, formerly known as Sasha Banks. I mean, I was able to see clips
Mm-hmm.
of her like versus Kari, when she when it got her title and things like that. But I think she was supposed to fight again sometime this month, but it's just likely like she's supposed she's supposed to be bringing somebody along, possibly Trinity, formerly known as Naomi, or it could be somebody else. Like, who do you think she'll probably bring along?
Naomi, she's basically back re-signed to the WWE, so she's gonna be
Okay,
back very soon. So I don't see that happen with Naomi, aka Trinity, right
right.
now. Um, but with Mercedes Monet, aka Sasha Banks, with her, she's got a lot of heat right now on her right now, like a lot of backstage heat. Um, so do I see her in New Japan for a long? No, I don't see her in New Japan for long periods of time. Honestly, I think she's going to end up returning back to WWE down the road
I
because,
mean, yeah.
huh?
I mean, she's not well liked as a person anyway. Like even in person, she's then said she was like cocky and rude to fans, things like that.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That all that the fame then got to her head.
Hmm.
So with her in the standpoint of how she is right now, um, she has a good relationship with Triple H. She don't like Vince McMahon, but she has a great relationship with Triple H and Stephanie McMahon.
Right.
So um, the whole gripe with what went on with Sasha Banks and AKA Mercedes Moon and Naomi is basically was they wanted to push the tag team division to make it better, which I agree. They need to make the women's tag team championship better.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's the reason why they walked out. With Mercedes Monet, she already got a lot of heat backstage. You know what I'm saying? She with her situation is kind of getting to the point of you already know she's not that liked in public. She's kind of like if you could put her in the bracket of a Tesla
Hmm.
Blanchard,
Yeah.
because she's not liked because of the things that she has done, and she's basically like nobody wants to work with her. Nobody in WWE, AEW, Impact Wrestling, nobody
She
want to work
blacklisted.
with her.
Yeah, she's blacklisted.
Exactly. So it's going to get to the point where Mercedes Moan, she'll end up getting blacklisted in the long run because like even in Hollywood, like she's not even liked in Hollywood right now because she's got some heat in Hollywood.
Bringing that air, walk around with that arrogance. Like, yeah, it's like, hey, I'm famous. Like, yeah, you know who my cousin is. Blah blah blah.
It don't even matter like who's related to who. Is
Right.
her ego. Her ego is going to mess her over, and she's married to the costume designer that's in WWE.
Right.
So like I think she should have stayed in the WWE.
Right. But yeah, here's my thing. I think it was 3 6 Mob. I think DJ Paul said, yeah, like you said, the ego is your worst downfall.
Mm-hmm.
It is
And
like,
mm-hmm. I'm listening.
yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, yeah, because he came out with a song and say, yeah, the ego is your worst downfall and things like that. So a lot of those
Mm-hmm.
wrestlers out there, you gotta be careful. It's like, yeah, you gotta remember who got you there, the fans, and you gonna sit there and disrespect them just because you got famous and make a lot of money and all that stuff. Mm-mm. That's gonna be the worst.
Absolutely.
I mean, you better find it real quick because like all that money, fame, and all that stuff that comes at a cost, and you can lose it all just like that.
Absolutely.
But
That's definitely going to be the downfall for her. But I want to see her be successful. That's facts.
right,
But she definitely has to do better.
right, all right. But we're getting down to the end. Oh, do you have like any other topics you want to discuss? Like, because I know we discussed like the big two and all that, like the free agencies, what's going on with Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite,
Mm-hmm.
Impact.
Well, let's go ahead. We talking about video games, but we're not talking about video games like that. We talking about WWE 2K23 and AEW Fight Forever. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, like, what are your thoughts about what you've seen from WWE 2K23?
I mean, right now, other than seeing like seeing as the cover, the cover guy, because I say he'd be the focus of the showcase. I definitely want to see like probably some more gameplay because I know it comes out next month. I say probably sometime later this month, we'll probably see some more gameplay and see what it's
Mm,
like and what new modes or when what new innovation, new mechanics they're gonna throw in there, and things like that. Probably what the pre bonuses are. Uh,
mm,
that's what I definitely want to see. But as far as like Fight Forever, yeah, like even though they got to push it back because they had to tone down some of the content, just so that way they can get a better rating.
mm.
That remains to be seen. Like, I guess, I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to the game, but like I said, like until like all this stuff gets fixed, I got to see gameplay. I don't want to be an amp for something I haven't seen yet, or like it may turn out to be or stuff like that. Because like me, I try to keep my expectations in check.
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely. Um, in my opinion, WWE 2K23 is going to be cool. I heard the gameplay is a lot more fluid.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to see what wrestlers are going to be there. If they're going to add more. I
Mm-hmm.
know on AEW Fight Forever they're going to definitely put Owen Hart in the game.
Yeah,
I already know that proceeds of that money is going to go to his family and to the
the
foundations.
foundation. Mm-hmm.
So I just got to see more with AEW Fight Forever. We haven't seen really much of anything like that.
Right. The only changes I've
Yeah.
seen, like yeah, like one of the first changes, of course, they took out CM Punk, took him off the cover,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and then of course the follow was okay. There was some violent content. And I was like, oh, they got to got to tone this down in order to get a T rating instead of an M.
Yep. Facts. Facts. But we just gonna have to see, man. Definitely gonna have to see.
Exactly. It's like, hey, like I know you're supposed to review 2K23 when that's out, so I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Oh yeah. Definitely will get my 2 cents on it, and then y'all stay tuned for Sinister's review on AEW Fight Forever.
All right. So anywho,
You know what I mean? But
mhm,
before we even get into that, we got a last thing we're gonna say. 'Cause I know we about to get off here.
right,
We did suffer some losses in wrestling
right,
recently.
right,
Um, First starting off with Jay Briscoe. He tragically died in a car accident.
right.
Condolences to his family, his children.
Yeah,
We know
definitely
his
pray.
brother Mark Briscoe had. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, definitely pray for his daughters. Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Factual. We know his brother Mark Briscoe battled Jay Lethal on an episode of AEW Dynamite a few weeks ago.
I was
It was
there.
an emotional match. Yeah, it was an emotional match for what I seen. Um, yeah, man. Rest in peace to Jay Briscoe.
Yeah, because yeah, like before we move on to the other one, yeah, because I was there to see the like that emotional match, like the way he came out there, like you know, Mark and Jay, that was a heck of a match. Definitely, I have some highlights and stuff like that, but stay tuned for that video. But I mean, after the show, like the roster from the back, they all came out like to give their respects. I mean, when Mark Briscoe, came up with the title, like he's getting the hugs, like I said, like definitely, giving that respect, like the tribute to him. That was a really thing. That was a highlight to me of watching Dynamite last. Oh yeah, not this past one, but the one last week in Lexington.
Hmm. Absolutely. But I know another person that died. That was
Lanny Poffo, Leaping
yeah,
Lanny
like
Poffo.
yeah,
So
yeah.
like, yeah, to anybody out there, probably my generation, like you probably remember Leaping Lanny Poffo used to come out there with the frisbee out there. And then for those in the back don't know who he is, he's the younger brother of Macho Man Randy Savage.
Hmm.
Yeah, both of them in WWF at the same time, but they didn't interact with each other during their WWE runs. And then of course,
Most
like
definitely.
Lanny, yeah, when Lanny he left, then he came back as a heel. He had the gimmick called the Genius. He teamed up with the late Kurt Hennig. He
Hmm.
feuded with Hogan with a few others. Like that was great. But then of course, like one of his last appearances, like Because he didn't want to talk for WWE for years because like the way they treated Randy, but back in 2015 that was all resolved. Like he was able to speak to induct Randy into the Hall of Fame because his original deal was he wanted the Apollo family to be in the Hall of Fame, like Angelo, him, and Macho and Randy all at the same time, but they only
Mm-hmm.
gave that honor to Randy. But
Mm-hmm.
Randy Poffo, he was like in another Hall of Fame. That was during the WCW days. But yeah, but definitely rest in peace to Lanny Poffo.
Yeah, rest in peace. Rest in peace.
So, yeah, before we all get out here, Kane, do you have any final thoughts of anything you want to discuss before we get out of here?
Now I think we covered basically all the bases.
Okay. All right, I'll just go ahead and give your outro and where they can find you at.
Yeah, this your boy Kano. Yeah, I mean, y'all can go ahead and find me on all social medias at Real KAYOKANO. I do interact with everybody. Make sure y'all go subscribe to the Gamer Section channel on YouTube. Link will be in the description below. Make sure y'all go ahead and follow the Gamer Section on all social medias. The question: do y'all want us to have a wrestling social media too? That's the key question. Do y'all want us to have a Beyond the Ring social media joint too? Let us know, and we'll create some social medias for the Beyond the Ring podcast and keep up with wrestling on there too. Just let us know.
All right, no doubt. And of course, this is your boy Sinister. Like I said, usually I be the host, well, along with co-hosting with Kano, but anyways, you can find me on my social medias like on Twitter it's Konshu19, Instagram is Sinister1019. Like I said, follow us at the Gamer Section. So with that, we're out. See you on the Gamer Section tomorrow.
Yeah, peace.
Sayonara.